strap on your seatbelts. Web3 is a new technology. I'm sure you've already heard about this already, how it is definitely influencing the way we write application systems and the way we deal with new protocols. Well, let's look at it this way. If Web 2.0 is on a certain S-curve, well, guess what? Web 3.0 is on a whole different S-curve. Technology is moving from what we call stateful applications to computational systems. Simply, this means the future of work, the future of finance, the future of everything will be computation. Computation is how you will make money, how you will interact with people, how your LinkedIn profile will be converted to Gitcoin. Pretty much everything will be Web3 technology. Between DAOs, metaverse, advances in AR, VR, AI, robotics, EV, and space, it's hard to see where things will go. And honestly, investors are so confused. If you haven't even noticed, just look at the stock market. They can't figure it out.
It confounds me to think that you could want to sell stocks so low. I mean, do you really want to sell NVIDIA down 14, AMD down 5? I mean, what's the point other than to make people come in this morning and say, NASDAQ's bad. Well, NASDAQ's bad. And then have us all chasing our tails, trying to figure out why NASDAQ's bad. There is no particular reason other than the fact that it is higher valued.
Many CEOs are seeing the writing on the wall and beginning to shift without giving people the real reasons. I'm not surprised that Facebook changed its name to Meta. I'm not surprised that Jeff Bezos resigned as CEO of Amazon. I'm not surprised that Jack Dorsey resigned as CEO of Twitter and changed the name to his other company from Square to Block. It's probably to symbolize that they are now more into blockchains. Also, it depicts that their company is going into a whole different vertical. Many tech companies are trying to position themselves for the blow that is coming.
If I were not at Square or Twitter, I'd be working on Bitcoin. If it needed more help than Square and Twitter, I would leave them for Bitcoin.
Before, business as usual were discrete companies that were, in theory, selected by some investors to be the elite. What is happening now is Darwinism is playing out as many communities of developers rise up to build open source technology that rival or even replace companies as a new future of work.
I believe both companies have a role to play, and I think anything that we can do as companies to help also find the right intersection between a corporate narrative and a community open narrative is for the best.
By the way, I wrote a smart contract that if you don't like this video, it will automatically stop the video. Nah, I'm joking. YouTube is centralized. I can't do that. But please, if you don't mind, take a moment to like it. Hey, I'll wait. Anyway, you had to subscribe too. Thanks. Okay, let's get back into this. So let's start from the top. A DAO, or a Decentralized Autonomous Organization, is the organization of members who are typically developers writing rules that are in the form of code that is distributed on different computers known as nodes. I know that sounds like a mouthful. Basically, it's like a company, but a decentralized version.
So imagine you have this distributed Excel spreadsheet or distributed database. There's copies of it stored in 1,000 places. But to update it, you need like 500 of those 1,000 people who own the copies to vote, yeah, let's do that update.
The idea is a DAO is supposed to replace board of directors and executives such as a CEO. Imagine an LLC or an S Corp, and now there's a DAO. The DAO makes everything open source, but they help their customers by providing computation or rules that are executed on a blockchain. Lately, a lot of devs have been opting into DAOs instead of working for big tech because they believe that their core technology for all other technologies will exist on a blockchain. So companies are finding it difficult to find new talent because DAOs, or basically any of the blockchain technologies, are attracting a large cohort of people to work on these early projects, much like the internet boom in the late 1990s. The benefit in the short term are vast. I mean, imagine a DAO had an AI that has control over some of the smart contracts, or an AI that even writes smart contracts on behalf of the members. The reasons DAOs have grown so much is because people believe it gives a lot of extremely skilled developers a chance to build incredible products that are not owned by central entities. It prevents these centralized platforms from having the rights to easily shut down projects or even delete the data. One of the biggest issues is platform censorship. Alexis Ohanian, I can't remember if I said that right, the co-founder of Reddit, mentioned he is focused on building a DAO for creators and viewers that is not managed by centralized platforms.
And, we're in this situation now where, like I said, I think we're watching technology enable what this next wave is going to be. The only thing I'm sure of is that community is going to be a core part of it, and it's going to be built from that bottom up.
It has come to the point where people have begun to realize that rich is a static state, but wealth is a constant flow of cash. So there are only two ways to make money. Either it's based on labor or it's in computation. Labor has been the case for many years, and some people feel exploited. So the alternative is computation. People realize that if they build systems that are able to compute, it's the future of work and the future of finance, and everything else pretty much. Computation on the blockchain is able to perform tasks or automated tasks as much as people need on a smart contract. Overall, traditional companies are looking out the window of their boats, realizing they are sinking, and they are trying to jump ship before it's a point of no return. DAOs are still experimental, but given NFTs, crypto, and just general blockchain technology, the suite of decentralized mediums has caused traditional companies to lose a lot of people and having a hard time attracting new ones. These companies are in a hard place because they want to shift, but they can't because they have to cater to their shareholders. Facebook made a shift because Mark Zuckerberg still controls the majority share, but other companies like Twitter and Amazon didn't have that luxury. Over time, I'm going to talk about these different technologies: DAOs, metaverse, advances in AI, AR, and VR, robotics, EV, and lastly but not least, space. If you have comments, please leave them. I would love to see your comments. Thanks for joining the community. I appreciate you listening. Until next time, keep building.